And welcome back to the Rock Shop Podcast. This week we have a special guest new to the shop, and he is.
Vindra Singh. That was good. Okay. My name is Vindra Singh. I'm a student at Florida State University. I'm a senior. I'm graduating in August. Ryan's a good friend of mine. I met him through the Catholic Student Union at FSU. I participated in one of his shorts, Real Heroes Wear Masks. I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited to talk about last year's movies.
Yeah, I'm the host at Ryan the Tiger, and we're going to talk about the best and worst of 2021 in terms of film. Real Heroes Wear Masks. I made the shortlist for the best, but didn't make the cut.
I was disappointed when I was looking at the Oscar nominations, and there's nothing there from Real Heroes Wear Masks. It was unfortunate, but a lot of snubs this year.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm not gonna spoil my list, but my number one choice didn't get any nominations when it should have for at least a couple categories. But the other ones on the best of list, they did, which is really weird. But I'll get into that. When they probably should, I guess, they're technical things, but they aren't what you think when you think of this is an Oscar movie,
Sure.
But we're gonna do the top three and bottom three of film last year. Anything's game, really, as long as it's a real film. Do note that this is just our opinions, obviously, but we're not looking at objective best or worst here. We're doing our top three favorites, bottom three favorites. Full disclosure. And I think we'll do bottom three, top number three in the bottom, number three in the top, and keep going, like that. We'll also probably have an honorable or dishonorable mention. But
sure.
You can start with what's your number three worst movie of the year?
Sure. So when we were talking about best and worst movies, I was saying how I didn't really look at anything this year that I really hated with a passion, but there were some movies that I saw that I was insanely hyped for going into them, and I really was excited to see it, and it just didn't blow me away at all. It was really kind of dry, and I'm a very big basketball fan. I'm a really big LeBron James fan, and I was able to watch Space Jam 2: A New Legacy, and it was really bad. It was unfortunate. I saw the first one a long time ago. I was 8 or 9, and I loved it. But Space Jam: A New Legacy, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player on the planet, and in his game of his life, Moonstar's putting the beam at him. He scored a grand total of 4 points in the championship game. Actually, did he even score 4? Yeah, he scored 2 or 4 points in the last game. He got carried by the Looney Tunes. It's a good movie. Plot was all over the place.
Oh, wait, sorry, go ahead.
I said plot was all over the place. Didn't really make a lot of sense. I didn't really care about his character or his son's character that much. It doesn't really compare to the first one at all, in my opinion.
It's just sad, man, because the original wasn't high art, but it was fun and people were having fun. I can't see anyone having fun with this one. It felt like a paycheck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan had the charisma. I've heard LeBron in some cameos, he's he got decent comedic timing or whatever, but he could not carry this film. And they really I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. Michael Jordan, his character, he was one of us. He lived in suburbia. He had a decent house. He watched Looney Tunes. And then you see LeBron with his giant LA mansion, and bro, he's He's not one of us. He's like an elite. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I could not care about that film. It's okay. Spoiler alert. It's in my list as well, but not number three. So I'll get to my take later. But I was fairly inebriated when I watched it, and it still wasn't entertaining. And that's how you know it's bad.
That's true.
Just I don't know. Just so sad seeing like Space Jam 2 is turned out this way. We were all hyping it up.
We were, and what you said earlier, like I've seen LeBron other stuff too. He's not like that bad of an actor, I'd say, for a basketball player, but he could not. He was not a leading man. Did not have the chops to pull this one off, and yeah, not super relatable. But I'm sure he had fun. There's a lot of like weird cameos too. I didn't expect Michael B. Jordan to be in this, and then he was in it, and he was in it for like 10 seconds. So it was kind of disappointing.
Well, that was a decent joke. Like I don't remember much. I remember because people were really shitting on the movie after the fact, and I remember like the Michael B. Jordan cameo was like that was the one part people were like, okay, that joke was decent, but um yeah, just super lazy, like especially the whole, like Ready Player One models reused in this. You just know like they just did that because like they had sorry, they had the CGI models from Ready Player One and it just it just didn't work. It just bro, like it was all just a mess. It was all just an ad. Like I'm not saying, Space Jam 1 was like this artistic masterpiece. I mean, that was I think like people tell me, and like we don't really get this because we weren't there, but apparently it was all just like the original movie was based off like a commercial. Michael Jordan would have like the Air Jordan ad with like Bugs Bunny, and they just like, hey, this could be a movie, but that don't feel like an ad. You know what I mean? Like they try.
Yeah,
This one just feels like, hey, buy The Matrix on Blu-ray.
sure. The dialogue comes off in Space Jam 2 like commercial dialogue. It's not like flowing like a story. It's kind of like cheesy one-liners the whole time. You know what I mean? Whereas the first Space Jam is more like a story. It's its own thing. Did you also get that?
Yeah, I just thought it was like horrible. Yeah. I just like, oh my god. There were no jams. They didn't go to space. Just oh my gosh. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I can't say much because I gotta bring it up later.
Okay.
I don't know, you got like more to add on like Space Jam.
That's about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm getting water. My voice keeps like cracking.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I ate before, so sounds kind of. Yeah, it sounds kind of terrible. I feel the viewers are like, "Hey, did Ryan just hit puberty? What the hell's going on here?" Okay, I'm back. Okay, my number three for like worst would be. Let me get the full title here because it's got a long one. It is Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
I haven't seen that one. So what's it about and why didn't you enjoy it?
So I'm not really familiar with like the Resident Evil games. Like, are you?
No.
I've got the remake of the first one, and like it's something I always wanted to like get into because it's a cool idea to me. Um, but I'm fairly certain it just covers the first game, and it's just really bad. Like the acting's bad. It's got actually the guy who played Beck in Victorious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Leon Kennedy, and just like the acting's bad, writing's bad. It's just a bad movie, but it's not entertaining. Like I've heard the original like Resident Evil movie series, that was like a guilty pleasure, you know. That's just kind of cheesy, but this one took itself too seriously and like some of the effects were cool, like the zombies looked cool and like game accurate, but it's like it wasn't fun. It wasn't like really entertaining, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I went into theater fully expecting it would be bad, but like, yeah, I was like, um, hey Jack, who's my buddy, right? I was like, hey, let's like get wasted at Cheesecake Factory and then go. And he's like, hell yeah. And then we went, and the Cheesecake Factory was closed. They freaking like outsourced the factory or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, the factory was gone. We went to the we went just to somewhere else and had drinks and got got pretty sloshed and went to the movie and you know it didn't help, just like Space Jam and um, I think I fell asleep at one part.
Like,
I was like dozing off like towards the end because it was just like not very entertaining, you know. Just yeah, not good. Um, I like those kinds of movies, kinda, but it's like it's a zombie movie. It's like over the top to an extent. At least the game is with really cheesy dialogue, and you know it's a gamer movie, and it just did not live up to the hype.
I understand. I have guilty pleasure movies too that suck, but I think they're still enjoyable, if that makes sense. This was
Well,
not.
wait, sorry, go ahead.
So I said I have a lot of guilty pleasure movies that I like that aren't exactly great films, but I still like them because they're very enjoyable. This was not that, you're saying. This
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
enjoyable.
because the thing is it's a guilty pleasure. Like there's pleasure involved. There's no pleasure here. It was just guilty,
Just guilty.
and it was long too.
Oh,
Yeah, not good. I've seen some bad like horror films. That this one was like not good at all. At least those were like entertaining, you know. This one just wasn't even like so bad it's good.
okay.
So yeah, that's my number three worst. What's your like number three best, third best or whatever?
Third best?
Yeah.
Okay. I have my three or I don't have my
You're breaking up, kind of. Are you there, Vindra? Where'd you go? Yeah.
let me just pull it up really quick.
Okay, cool. You're
Um
kind of back.
of this year. Really like great.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you
Is that good?
yeah, can you try like saying all that again? Because
Good. All right.
yeah, that was
Whenever
pretty
are
bad.
you picking me up?
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot.
Oh, me? Is this better?
You're good now,
Okay, cool.
but yeah, okay. Yeah, so my top three movies, I honestly think they're kind of interchangeable between the back two. The only one that's really my number one, I think, is clearly number one. But so my third favorite movie that came out this year was Judas and the Black Messiah. It came out January or February of 2021, like very early. It was actually like nominated for Oscars in the last Oscar, but it did come out this year. and I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. Daniel, no, yeah, I think Daniel Kaluuya was nominated for Best Actor, and Lakeith Stanfield won Best Supporting Actor for it, I think. And it's a great movie. It's a true story. Not a lot of people know about it. It's about Fred Hampton, who was leader of the Black Panther Party a long time ago, and the FBI sent in this like mole to kind of uplift it, or not uplift it, like ruin it.
Infiltrate.
And yeah, it tells the story from the point of view, yeah, infiltrate them, but it tells the story from the point of view of the mole, not of Fred. I mean, they have like Fred Hampton is like a main character, obviously, and they do follow his life, but he's not really the focal point of the movie. The focal point of the movie is the mole, who's played by Lakeith Stanfield. And I just loved the movie. I thought it was super intense. You're rooting for both of them, despite however you may feel about the situation. Like they come across as like decent human beings, but they both make like some pretty horrible choices in their lives. But you still root for both of them, and it's a true story. Most of it holds up to this day, and yeah, no, I just loved it.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. I was busy, making my own movie or just writing it, so I didn't really have time to check it out. I think it's like brought back, but it was, yeah, one of those things where HBO Max had it for like free for like a month, and then it went away for a while. But that is kind of crazy too. Like, yeah, it came out like February, but because 2020 was like ruined, um, the Oscar like window was like 14 months. So really, there's only 10 months of film they can choose like this year, which is
Yeah,
kind of interesting. I mean, it was going to come out last year anyway, or it was going to come out like 2020 anyway. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I guess it counts since it was 2021. Yeah, I didn't see it, so I can't really comment on it. What I do like is I've known of Lakeith for like a while now, and I think the earliest thing I've seen him in was he in Sorry to Bother You?
yeah, I love that movie. He
Yeah.
killed a great one.
No, it's crazy because I've seen him in something like earlier than that, even because that was really his big break.
That's when I first saw him.
No, I first saw him in a Death Note, the like American Netflix remake.
Okay, no, I haven't heard of it.
Well, do you know like Death Note, the original anime? No, it was so it's I'm not gonna get too into it because it's kind of off topic, but it's like the original anime was like this guy who basically gets this book, and whoever's name he writes in it, they die, like a day or something. So he starts like killing like criminals. Like you'll hear like some kidnapper in the news, and he'll write his name in the book, and then he'll die. It's kind of like a Dexter kind of vigilante thing. But Lakeith played the detective, I believe, who's like chasing after him, and that was a very horrible movie. Yeah, one of the Naked Brothers band, that Nick show, if you remember from way back when. Yeah, he was the lead. And yeah,
Oh,
it was one. Wait, what?
I said okay. I understand. I recognize him.
Yeah, it was one of like the worst anime like live action things ever. Um, but Lakeith just went hard in that role. Like he went harder than pretty much anyone else. Willem Dafoe was probably like the best in there, but like um, yeah, Lakeith just went like ham. He didn't like overact, but he like put it his all in this shitty movie. So like I can respect that. It's cool
Yeah,
to see like, well, it's crazy to see a pipeline like, oh, one time you're in Death Note, and a few years later you win an Oscar. But he is a really talented guy.
yeah. No, the movie was great. Um, it is like it's not a super political movie. I know it's based off like the Black Panther Party, but it's also just like a very fun, entertaining and intense story that you're not really it's like I said, you're rooting for like a lot of different people in the movie. You kind of hate what Lakeith Stanfield's character is doing, but you can kind of see where he's coming from. Um, they attempt to sympathize his character, and you do kind of you never know if he's gonna be like staying or leaving the party. You kind of see him wrestle with, I see what they're doing, that's good. I know why they kind of want me to stop them. It's just a great thriller movie.
But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Yeah, third best. Huh.
Best.
I'm trying to remember if it won anything else, but yeah, that was a pretty big thing. Do you feel is his name Daniel or David Kaluuya?
I think it's Daniel.
Do you think he should have won Best Actor for that?
I forgot who he was up against. Do you think you can pull up the nominees for that year? I can do it too, actually.
He was up against Chadwick Boseman, Gary Oldman. The winner was Anthony Hopkins. That's all.
Okay. I didn't see that movie that Anthony Hopkins won for, but I did see Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and I thought Chadwick Boseman should have won. But so no, I don't think Daniel Kaluuya should have got Best Actor if he was up against Chadwick Boseman from that movie. But I haven't seen the Anthony Hopkins one, so maybe.
I gotta say, I did see The Father, which Anthony won for, and I do gotta say, like, I haven't seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but Anthony was unbelievable. Like,
I believe it, yeah.
he plays like a dementia patient, basically, or I think it was dementia or Alzheimer's, but like, he's regressing over time and he's getting worse. And sometimes you watch and I genuinely like forgot he was like acting. He was actually like unbelievable. And like the final scene, it's just, I don't know if I'd say it's like one of my favorite endings in film, but it's one of the most impactful. And that was his big acting moment, like everything leading up to that. And like you just finish it and your like jaw drops.
I'll
So
have to watch then, yeah.
So yeah, like, I'm sure everyone else did a really good job, but like I don't even know if I would recommend it because it's really like it's kind of confusing. It makes you think like you have like Alzheimer's. It's a weird kind of because like stuff happens, but you don't know if it's real or not, just like the main character. So you kind of see things from his point of view. So you're like just as confused and you're trying to like make sense of it. It's like really smart, just a really interesting way of doing things.
There's a car alarm going off.
I can't hear it.
All right, good. I was like, oh.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a 2021 movie, but that probably was like objectively the best. I did see the Best Picture that also came out in 21. Nomadland, I didn't really care for it, but like The Father probably should have won Best Picture, but like, man, it's just hard to like sit through,
I understand.
Do you remember the whole like scandal with the Oscars with the whole Chadwick thing?
I know like they kind of hyped him up to like win it, and it kind of looked like he was gonna win, and he didn't. But if Anthony Hopkins gave that good of a performance, then I don't see why he shouldn't have won it. If I didn't watch the Oscars at all, but if they had led us on to believe that Chadwick was gonna win as like a selling point, and then just like didn't have him win, that's kind of crappy. But if Anthony Hopkins was objectively like the better actor, then I don't see the problem, obviously.
Well, yeah. worst part about that whole thing is like they moved around uh like the order of the Oscars. So like Best Actor was last. They're like, okay, they'll give Chadwick his, his family, their moment, and then be like a nice gesture. I think they gave out like Chadwick Boseman NFTs. Yeah, they did. Like they're like, but the organizers don't know the results of the voting. So like it was this big moment, and then like yeah, Anthony won. That's like obviously, like I said, I didn't see his Chadwick's performance, but like, I mean, Anthony did like an unbelievable job, but it's just like, oof, like they moved Best Picture around just for this moment, and like it didn't happen anyway.
Yeah, that's a kind of, I mean, if they had known that Anthony was going to win all the time, you might as well just keep it before. But
Well,
it
like
does
they
seem like,
didn't was a problem.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really know much about the Oscar stuff, but there seems to be some sort of controversy.
Um, yeah, that was your number three. Let me see my number three. It's like really killing me what to put for number three because I saw some like objectively quality films. I'm just really like I don't know. It's hard because in terms of like third favorite, this is rough.
I don't have like a three bottom tier ones. I have like two ones I'm disappointed about, right? But like
Sure.
I don't know what to put for my second one for that one. So yeah, it's kind of, I saw some pretty great movies this year too.
I mean, I guess you could just say like your most disappointing then. But
Yeah.
number three best for me. Dudes are gonna like cringe at this, but my number three favorite, like I saw Pig, I saw uh Tick Tick Boom. I saw a lot of stuff people like. I saw in French Dispatch, but they didn't make the cut.
They did
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Number three is Free Guy.
Hey, free guy.
Yeah, I know you said you hadn't seen it. It's so weird because I really like aspects of it, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff I like that I love about the film, but like there's a lot of stuff that I hate. It's either the love is more there than the hate, but like so it doesn't even out. It's like I really liked it, and it did kind of resonate with me, and it's kind of spoke with me. I love like the thought they put into it, but at the same time, then you've got like ninjas on the TV or the movie screen. They got Pokimane. Taika Waititi is uncharacteristically bad as the main villain. He's like really unfunny.
Okay. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, there's like a canon reason. He basically just plays like a tech bro, but he's just like not funny in it. Just his delivery, I guess, is just bad. But like a lot of the jokes land, and it's I don't know. They're really like great moments that make you think. It's kind of like a modern day Truman Show.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love Truman Show.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Truman Show, but with like video games and streaming.
Gotcha.
So some really like similar ideas because I mean this is just a guy whose name is Guy who realizes he's an NPC and then he decides he wants to be the main character in like a GTA Online kind of like MMO, and he becomes like a Chad just by being himself because all these streamers all these people try to be something they're not,
Yeah.
but he's just genuine like himself, and that like resonates with a lot of people. And he makes it so that like he does good deeds. Like, you play GTA Online, you like carjack people and you like go on a rampage, but he like does the right thing. Feel like, whoa, this guy's based.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like a great movie. It's most of the movies that you said that you've seen that I most of them I hadn't seen. I put a whole bunch on my list. It's on there, so I'll give it a look for sure.
Yeah, it was just I think that's the entire reason like why it's number three when like a lot of like quality films didn't. It's just it resonated with me, it spoke to me, and it feels like something I would write.
Yeah.
It's not like Truman Show is an all-time classic. This isn't, but like I still had a great time at the theater.
Those are the movies I like too. Just like chaotic, stupid, fun. Uh, like they don't have to be cinematic masterpiece. They can just make me think or be very confused. I love watching those movies too. Chaotic films that are like that. I'm trying to think of an example that people don't think it's like a great movie, but I think it's great. I mean, Shutter Island is one of my favorites like that, but that's actually a great movie too. But
I think like Venom 2, like that's not, I don't know, that was like I really had fun with it, but I know it's not like a good movie, but you should watch that for like chaotic fun because that is so much better than the first one.
yeah,
I was like stunned.
okay, cool. I heard bad things about Ben too. I think check it out.
But yeah, that's about it for Free Guy. I know like you haven't seen it, so you can't really comment on it.
Yeah, I think it's good that we have very different. What's up?
So I guess like what's your other like bad movie you saw, or what's your something disappointing?
Yeah, I think we have very different lists, which I think is cool because we can talk about a whole bunch of different movies.
Sure.
But yeah, I wouldn't say this movie's bad at all. And again, I don't think I've seen anything really bad this year except for maybe Space Jam. But yeah, in terms of just disappointing, uh, I don't know. Can we talk about superhero movies on these? I
Yeah.
saw it. I saw Eternals, and I was super hyped for Eternals. And I think it wasn't horrible, but it was. I was expecting something new, something different, something that would kind of like be a new, fresh idea and maybe expand what we know about like the MCU. And it was just kind of like a normal superhero movie, very like cookie cutter um, film. I mean, there's some cool concepts that they play with, but they don't really get into it super deep. Um, Kumail Nanjiani is the first Indian superhero, and I was so hyped to see my boy get all the recognition. He got shredded for that movie. He looked great, and I don't want to spoil it, but he was very disappointing. And he was an all right actor, and his character is great, but they didn't like use him really at all. They kind of nerfed him, and yeah, the overall story was just kind of like you kind of know exactly what's going. Like there's no big twist. I mean, the big twist is not really a twist. Um, yeah, just kind of like dull, and it's so there's so much like freshness that they could use. It's a great idea. It's an awesome concept. I'm sure it'll get a sequel because it wasn't a horrible movie. So maybe they're just kind of like planting seeds for something bigger. In fact, it's a Marvel movie, so I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing. But yeah, just I was expecting this franchise shifting thing, and we kind of just like got a normal superhero movie, kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I was gonna see it if it was like good, but honestly, like I saw the trailer so many times because I was going to movies a lot leading up to that, and the amount of times I had to see the trailer for that. when they make that stupid IKEA joke. He slams a table. He goes, "Fall collection, IKEA." Like, oh my god, I could not stand like watching that anymore. Had to have seen that like clip like 1,000 times. IKEA doesn't
You're
even have
breaking up a
a
little
fall
bit.
collection. Tell me what.
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot. But I heard what you said about the IKEA joke.
And then it became like, yeah, Marvel's, or at least the MCU's first rotten movie, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit harsh of a rating that they gave. I wouldn't say it's like a 40 or a 50. I'd say it's a good movie, but I think they had hyped it up to be this thing that would like change the entire MCU, and I'm sure it will. Like again, they planted seeds for it, but I was just kind of disappointed that they didn't go like all the way because they could have. And there's a lot of like fresh characters they could have gone with, but you have to balance like 12 Eternals plus the main villain isn't really like a villain per se. I mean, he's not really like a character so much as he is like a force, and then they have like some twists and stuff, and but it's not really like twisty. Yeah, and then they nerfed my boy Kumail, but that's about it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like who returns because honestly, I think they're hyping up like, oh yeah, we're gonna make an Eternals too, and then when critic reviews dropped and like it didn't make all that much money, they're like, well, yeah, maybe there'll be a second one eventually. Um, but I think, I didn't see it, but I read like what happens in it, and I think they'll probably like show up. One of them will show up in like Captain Marvel 2 or like something like that. It just makes me think like because they're doing like multiverse stuff. That's the whole focus. But like it makes me wonder where they're gonna tie into like all this new lore into the overarching story.
Yeah, like they mention the Avengers in the movie. They talk about Thor and Captain America, but like I don't know. They don't. It's weird because they're not like multiversal things. They're just like space things, right? But
Yeah.
the MCU is shifting toward a more multiversal focus, like you said, right? So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they come up.
Or even like space stuff, like because Guardians 3, that's like they're probably gonna do like a no Guardians or something, but like the Guardians as we know it, that's ending. Like I guess Marvel's it's Secret Invasion. Those are like space based, but like when Spider-Man 4 comes out, like I doubt he's gonna like go out of space, have a space adventure.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
What are they gonna do with that? I think it'd be cool, like maybe because okay, I don't think they do this for like Eternals too, but if they had like Galactus or something, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Um, I don't know, like you said, how he would come back for it. You know, um, Gemma Chen was really great in her role. I didn't think I went into it thinking that like there would be no protagonist per se. And if there was a protagonist, it'd be Richard Madden's character or Angelina Jolie's character. And Richard Madden is like a prominent character in that movie, obviously, but like Gemma Chen was amazing as the protagonist. Like she was very clearly the focal point of the story, and her character was really cool. But again, like they don't really like they go into it a little bit, but I think they could have fleshed her out a lot more. And Angelina Jolie's character was nerfed big time. But Kit Harington was in it from Game
Yeah,
of Thrones. No, yeah, he's in it for like 10 minutes. I was so hyped to see him in the movie, and he wasn't really in it that much. But I think they're setting him up for something, obviously later. Um,
yeah, like in fall and winter of 2021, there were two movies that had Eternals and like new Spider-Man, but the new Spider-Man barely, and they want to like keep things secret, but like they barely had that much marketing for No Way Home. but that made all the money. And yet, I saw ads for
Yeah,
Eternals, and I like couldn't get away from it, and that flopped, and not many people saw it. I'd be willing to bet. I'm gonna look it up. What made more money, Shang-Chi or Eternals? I'm gonna say Shang-Chi, honestly, because like Eternals just came and went.
yeah. Shang-Chi was great. I wouldn't be surprised if it blew Eternals out of the water.
Eternals had a budget of $200 million, which makes sense. Made 400 million. Shang-Chi made it was about 150, $200 million, and made 432 million. So yeah, Shang-Chi barely beat it out, but like that was a bigger cultural like phenomenon.
Yeah, I like Shang-Chi a lot, and I'm biased because seeing an Asian character was dope. But Shang-Chi was objectively a pretty good movie, I feel like. It's
Okay.
not,
Wait,
but I
what?
know.
Okay. Yeah. You have anything else for like Eternals? No.
No,
Okay, my number two for worst would be. Let me get the full title here. And I've said this like twice already, but it's got a stupid title because I hate this movie. Fear Street Part 1, 1994.
Fear Street.
Yeah. So this is probably the most disappointing movie for me. Um, I'll have like a dishonorable mention, maybe, a bit, but like, so it's okay. Here's the concept. It's it's a book, Fear Street, and it's made by R.L. Stein, and they adapted the book and they made it R-rated, and they made a whole trilogy. So it's part one, part two, part three. And in July, it was like one after the other, like 1 week. So like one Friday, you could see part one. Next Friday, part two, and then the third Friday, part three, all at once. That's just such a cool idea.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
awesome idea. And yeah, R-rated, R.L. Stein. You don't have to wait like years for part two. And I made a whole event. So like, yeah, I got home. I was like, hell yeah, Fear Street. I saw it and it was horrible.
So you went there like all 3 Fridays, part one, part two, part three.
Part one, I watched that Friday and thoroughly hated it. Part two, I watched like half of the following Friday, and that was a little better, but still pretty bad. And I didn't bother with part three. I heard that was like the worst one.
Wow.
But yeah, part one was like, wow. I mean, so it's about, I can't remember if it was a flashback. I don't think it was set in the 90s, the duration of it. I remember that. It was just about this girl who, she gets cursed or something. There's the town she lives in is cursed. Something about, they killed a witch or something and they named it on her. So she cursed them for life in the town. Um,
Your classic with cursing town stories.
Wait, what? What'd you
I
say?
said just your usual cursing town story.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a bad joke.
Yeah. It was just, yeah, unbelievable. Like, because there's a really cringy, like, romance plot in it, and it's just so bad. I mean, there's like gore here and there, and that's pretty okay, but there's nothing scary about it. Just someone said it best. So it's set in the 90s, but like it just feels like Gen Z kids cosplaying. Doesn't feel like a 90s thing at all. Um, yeah, it's just like awful. The vibe is not there. Yeah, it just feels like Zoomers, uh, you know, Zoomers get spooked, and that's the movie. And It's a lot of social commentary, mega cringe, you know. And it's just
Mega cringe.
yeah, it's so cringe, dude. That whole movie, like, I'll watch part 2 and 3 eventually this year, probably around October. But like, yeah, the man, God, that was atrocious.
There's a way to do social
You're breaking up.
commentary. Obviously, that's a very good, but it seems like this movie's really leaning into it.
Yeah, Fear Street was bad. Anyway, what's your second favorite?
Second favorite movie of the year, I just saw it actually like 2 weekends ago. It came out last year, I think, in November. It was Don't Look Up. It was Adam McKay's movie. It was loaded, absolutely loaded cast, and every single one of them, no matter how small the role was, they delivered. It was a great movie. It was hilarious. It was funny. They take shots at everybody. It's a very political movie, but they take shots at pretty much everybody. Um, it was a satire, right, on like how people view climate change and stuff today. But like you're watching it and you're kind of like picking out like, oh, I know a guy like that, or like they have a dude who's like he's like this hippie dude, like played by Timothy Chalamet, and he's like a stoner guy, and he's not in for that much in the movie, but like he says stuff that are super relatable, and like we all know a guy like him. And there's a guy, I forget what the name of the actor, but he's in Dunkirk too. He's an old guy, a bald guy, and um he plays like a tech, not a tech bro, but like a Zuckerberg type guy, like a Bezos type guy, or Elon Musk. But he's like all of them combined. It's a very funny movie. I enjoyed it tremendously. It is a bit of um, it is a satire on like the media and how it's very like politicized and polarizing and stuff. But I thought it was hilarious, and you don't really see Leonardo DiCaprio and Timothy Chalamet and Jennifer Lawrence in roles that are funny, but they were hilarious. They have very good comedic timing. All the jokes pretty much hit. Jonah Hill obviously was hilarious, but like even Meryl Streep was really funny, and yeah, it was basically a comedy, but I enjoyed it tremendously.
Yeah, interesting take because like I don't know, I was gonna see it, but like people are really mixed about it. Um, and I don't know, I like Adam McKay. His last thing he did, Vice, I really didn't like. Big Short
I
was like great. Wait, sorry, what was I saying?
haven't seen Vice, but The Big Short is really good.
Vice was like the same kind of style as Big Short, but like Big Short was really the subject material is really hard to understand. Um, you need layman's terms, and I mean I saw it in high school, so maybe it's just because I didn't know too much about all that, but like it's very like intricate system, financial system and real estate and all that. And it's not the easiest to grasp, but with that, he did a great job with an abstract kind of concept. Vice wasn't deep, fam. It was just like Dick Cheney's life, and I mean, like, yeah, he's had a lot of influence at the time, but like, it's not that deep. It was just like you know a biopic about one guy. So yeah, I didn't see the new one because I was really hyping up Vice and was very disappointed. That's not even a political thing either. I just really thought it was surface level in its commentary. But yeah, I haven't seen this Don't Look Up, but yeah, maybe since it is a Best Picture nominee, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, yeah, I loved the humor really carried it. It wasn't so much really about the story. I know they're trying to make a point about climate change, and they make it. Obviously, there's some serious stuff in there, but the humor was really on point. Like again, they pretty much take shots at everybody, and yeah, it was one of the funniest movies I saw last year.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I can't really comment because, like, yeah, I haven't seen it, but that's an interesting take. I haven't really heard anyone be like, "Yeah, I love that one." Like, I've seen critics say it and like people here and there, but I've never. I guess too, like Twitter just likes to hate on stuff, you know. So maybe that's it.
Yeah, I could see how like a lot of people could hate it. Like again, they're taking shots at a lot of different people, and
Sure.
so if that's like something that you care about a lot, and you that might be the only thing that resonates with you, you know what I mean? But I thought it was good. I thought it was serious when it had to be serious, and it was funny when it had to be funny. But toward the end, they just like lean into the the world is ending kind of trope, and it's very good. I don't want to spoil it, obviously, but it goes places that you wouldn't actually expect to go. So it goes very fantastical. So very good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen like a handful of Best Picture nominees. It got really sick like mid-December, mid to late December. So like I wasn't able to see like West Side Story or um, I only just saw Licorice Pizza, but I didn't see like yeah, it was that and oh, what else do I want to see at the time? I don't know. Guess it's not really important, but you get my gist. I haven't really seen like a lot of the. Oh, Nightmare Alley. Yeah, I really want to see that, but that's on HBO Max now. Um, yeah, let's see here because I think I'm on. I think I gotta say my second best.
Right?
I'm kind of embarrassed to say because it's not like it's a movie. It's not really a film.
Okay.
But I was, I was really just, you know, it resonated with me because I think it's really well written. But like, it's also like not that deep, fam. I was just really impressed by it. It's the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide. I love the Suicide Squad. I'm really
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
Just compared to the first one, this one's like a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just man, I had an episode. I think episode two. I had the Suicide Squad, and because I guess want to talk about it, but I didn't realize she meant the first one. So we had like it was like a point counterpoint because like she liked the first one better than the new one, and I thought the first one was
That's crazy.
I thought the first one was like unbelievably bad. But he had this interesting dynamic because it was like, you know, she had like hot takes. I was glad to have her on. And like she could like
Yeah.
passionately defend that first awful piece of shit, you know.
Yeah. Like, Margot Robbie's cool in it, and Will Smith tries, and Jared Leto tries, I guess. But yeah, I didn't really like it.
But this one, the action was on point, you know. Action's so good. I mean, that first like 5 minutes, the intro, Pete Davidson, the
Oh,
first Suicide Squad for Task Force X, and that was insane, dude. That was crazy.
that was awesome. I didn't expect. Let me tell you, I saw James Gunn talk about the movie before it came out. He's like, "Yeah, I gave all the all the actors their scripts up until their character dies," and I was like, "Oh, so he's killing everybody off except for maybe Margot Robbie." I'm like, "That's the plan, right?" I went into the movie thinking she was gonna be the only one who lived, right? And then they were all gone within the first 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh." So not even like a page of dialogue they probably didn't get, you know what I mean? So yeah, it totally caught me off guard. I thought Michael Rooker's character was gonna have a way bigger part because they opened with him, right?
Yeah.
And nothing, right? But one thing about the Suicide Squad that kind of caught me off guard, it was like it actually like Taika Waititi's character, like the dad, the rat catcher, the first rat catcher. Like he had like a very emotional like little monologue there at the end where he's talking about like, oh, if rats have a purpose, we all do. For some reason, I was just like, that heartfelt kind of line came out of like left field, but I really liked it.
Unlike many movies I watched last year, The Suicide Squad was one I watched while drinking, and I actually loved it. Like most of these movies, I'm like, I'm gonna drink through like Space Jam 2. It's like I hated this crappy thing. But like the Suicide Squad, I watched it. I was like, wow, this was like actually great, you know. And I do love that. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. He had a great moment. Yeah, he was barely in it, but like when he was, it really shined, you know.
Yeah,
I love like James put so much care into that film.
he
Like
did.
like that's what I love to see in a movie is like a common theme throughout. And here was like family, because you know Idris Elba misses his daughter, Ratcatcher 2 misses her dad, Harley wants a husband. That whole scene with her and that one guy, you know, that was great. You know, visually um, distinctive of the rest. That whole sequence. Who else? Like, I'm trying to remember. Oh,
They have
Polka Dot
yeah,
Man was estranged from his mom. You had like this whole thing going, and like it wasn't repetitive. It was just well thought out, and you know, I can't even like expect that from a lot of movies I watch these days. But that was just like I feel like it shouldn't be in the top three even, but like I just loved it, you know, and loved you know just the chaotic energy of the whole thing.
yeah. I think we talked about that earlier. Just like a fun, chaotic movie that makes no sense but so much sense too. Like those are the kind of movies I love too. And maybe it isn't like a top three film or whatever, but like it was the film I enjoyed the most, I think.
Yeah, it's visually stunning. I mean, uh, so great. James, you know, like I used to not really care for him that much. I used to think he was kind of overrated, but like he just knocked it out of the park here, and I can really respect that because like his characterization is just top notch. Um, one of the best people in the industry that understands characters and he knows how to use them. Uh, he has distinct arcs, and he could just make any character interesting. You know, Polka Dot Man or King Shark. Just
King Shark has a great moment when he's like with the fishes in that tank and he's like following them. That's a super great moment.
yeah,
Can we talk about like specifics, or do you are keeping spoilers away from?
I'd say keep spoilers away. One thing I
Okay.
will say about King Shark, um, just like man, same thing with that moment. Like you know, he longs to be with you know the fish, but it's all these people, you know, just estranged from family, and they make the makeshift one. It's everything that first movie should have been. Just I'm
Yeah.
still like impressed by it. But in terms of spoilers, yeah, I guess like Peacemaker's out. They already kind of have like a sequel. I guess if you don't want to hear the Suicide Squad spoilers, you know, I don't know, tell you go like fast forward like 5 minutes or something. I don't know.
Watch the movie and then come back and watch the video.
Yeah, put us on pause and return. But what do you want to say?
No, my favorite character in the first Suicide Squad movie, I really like. Not sorry, not the first. My favorite character in the Suicide Squad movie was Idris Elba's character, and I was worried they were gonna make him just like a carbon copy ripoff of Will Smith, but they gave him his own little thing because like he had like a daughter or whatever, and like seeing so I don't know who's gonna come back. I don't know. The DCEU is kind of in shambles, and like I don't really know what they're gonna do with certain characters. But like they mentioned how he put Superman in the ICU. I would love to see Idris Elba I love Idris Elba in general. I would love to see him come back for more stuff. Same thing, obviously with Margot Robbie. I think she has her own like movie franchise. But Peacemaker, the series, I started the first. I saw the first episode. I loved it, and I like in the Suicide Squad. I hated him. I thought he was great, but in a good way. I hated him, but that was like the point, right? And I like Rick Flag a lot, right? And he kills Rick Flag in the movie, and I was like, Peacemaker is not the move. Like, F Peacemaker, bro. This guy is a total cuck. But like, I think that's the point they were trying to make. And the Peacemaker, this is just a long promo that I'm doing for the Peacemaker series because I saw the first episode and it was awesome. I can't wait to finish the rest of it.
So that was my number two. You said your number two. I guess we could get into number one. I guess, yeah, what's your number one? You there?
Yo, hey, are you there? Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I missed like 30 seconds.
Oh, sure, sure. I said, yeah, so that was my number two. You said like all your worst movies and everything. I guess we could get into like number one.
Yeah, number one of my, again, not a horrible film by any means, just very disappointing, was The Little Things. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. No, it was so Denzel Washington. Fun fact: Denzel Washington is my favorite actor of all time, and it is close, but I love Denzel Washington. I think he's the best. And this is his movie. Rami Malek, known from Bohemian Rhapsody, is in this movie as well, and Jared Leto, everyone's favorite crazy guy. The three of them are in this movie together, and it seems like they're going for a Seven type of movie where Denzel plays the Morgan Freeman, the older, experienced trouble detective, and Rami Malek plays the young, upstart family man. And they're solving a case where there's some psycho serial killer played by Jared Leto. And that's essentially the movie, but Seven is really good and The Little Things is not. So, I mean, I know we talked a little bit about the Suicide Squad spoilers. I'm not really going to get into The Little Things spoilers because there's nothing really crazy or like insane. And I was expecting like some crazy. I was expecting like some like psychotic, demented stuff like Seven, but it's just a movie where Denzel is like troubled and Jared Leto. They never really. There's a lot of murders going on in the city. They're assuming it's Jared Leto, right? And they get into it, and it just the ending's very anticlimactic. You know, again, I don't really want to talk about it too much because nothing really happened. You know, like they build up all this stuff, and they don't really solve anything. It's a lot more about the minds of the detectives, right? Like, Rami Malek's character, you kind of see him get more troubled, and Denzel Washington is kind of recognizing these behaviors in him, and it's more about like keeping him sane than about solving the murders, which is a cool idea. Again, it's not a horrible movie, but I went in thinking it was going to be something way different, and it kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that actually, just because I guess like yeah, no buzz, just kind of came and went. So I mean, like I can't really say anything about it, but no, no, not to watch it.
Yeah, my friend asked me should I watch it, or he asked me, he's like, I saw this pop up, I want to see it. I didn't tell him not to watch it because it is an interesting movie, And if you like dark, kind of weird mind movies, it's definitely that. But it wasn't a detective thriller, and it was very anticlimactic. So again, up to what your taste is. I'll watch anything with Denzel, to be honest. But yeah, just a very, very. I went into it thinking it was going to be an Oscar worthy. I was essentially thinking it was going to be Seven, because Denzel was offered the role of Brad Pitt's character in Seven, and he declined it. And that's how Brad Pitt was cast in that movie, because Denzel declined it. And I thought this was going to be like a makeup for that, essentially, where he's now playing like the Morgan Freeman type character. That was not the case. Yeah.
My worst was Space Jam. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I had more to say about it, but it's just soulless, man. It's just an ad and not a good one. Takes itself too seriously. I probably love Warner Brothers like filmography more than any other like big studio, but like God, it was just so full of itself in like every way. And yeah, I feel bad for kids that like have to watch it. Or I feel bad for kids who be like in the future they'll be like, oh yeah, Space Jam 2, that was my movie.
Yeah.
Somehow the animation, even like the 2D sections, somehow that was even worse than what it was in the first Space Jam, like 26 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, that whole 2D part of the movie, I did not pay attention at all. It was really crappy. The
Yeah,
animation
it looked like a TV budget. It was horrible. Just um God, yeah, even Rick and Morty when they showed up, that felt like such a sellout moment.
yeah.
Yeah, that epitomized like modern Hollywood, just soulless cash grab, um, celebrity worship, paycheck kind of movie. It's like, geez, but yeah, like I said, I mean, I can't remember if I said this earlier, but they didn't go to space and there were no jams.
No jams, that's true.
Terrible, yeah, just bad fan service. Not even like the good kind of scene like anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, what's your number one?
My number one movie of the year is Tick Tick Boom. I know you mentioned that earlier about some of the people like. I loved it. I thought it was acting was amazing. Story was amazing. I'm a big fan of. I'm not a huge fan of like Broadway musicals. I'm not gonna say that. I do like Broadway musicals. I just don't. I haven't seen tons of them, but I love movie musicals or like movies with music in them. I love La La Land. I enjoyed like Pitch Perfect and stuff like that. The Greatest Showman was one of my favorites. Um, and this movie, like all the music slaps. I'm listening to the soundtrack on repeat. Um, all the songs are really good. Come to Your Senses is a great one. Louder Than Words is a great one. 3090 is stuck in my head, and that's awkward in class sometimes. But the whole movie, like Andrew Garfield kills it.
Oh,
He related Jonathan Larson perfectly, I think. And Alexandra Shipp was amazing in the movie. I didn't really know who she was before. I recognized her from X-Men, but I didn't see anything else that she was in. She killed it. Anyway, I just love the movie so much. It's a short movie. It's not super long either, but they get a lot of like emotion into it. They put a lot of soul into it. And I saw Hamilton and Lin-Manuel Miranda like followed it up with another great one. So I also saw Encanto, which he had a lot to do with. So he's been on a roll lately.
yeah, he has, man. He's just doing a lot right now. 'Cause yeah, just that, and then he did like two animated movies, like soundtracks. He did Encanto, and then there was like a Sony animation one that came out on Netflix I didn't watch. It's called like Vivo or something.
Mm.
I don't know. Watch it. I liked it decently. I didn't. I liked the story because people kept telling me it was reminding them of the movie I made. Because that, I mean,
Yeah,
saying it's like a whiny guy who like he has problems, but they aren't that significant compared to like what other people are going through. They have to like follow their dreams. So like I can see that. I I just thought it was fine. I'm not the biggest musical guy. I
yeah. I
thought,
will say, not a big fan of musicals. You probably wouldn't think it's the best movie of the year, but I love musicals, stuff like that. So it hit tremendously.
yeah, I just think it kind of meandered in places. Like I remember the plot, but I don't remember like a lot of times you think of like Star Wars, you can remember beat by beat. Here is more like, well, he's got to make this musical, but it's like he's trying. It's a lot of that and a lot of singing. So then it kind of spoke to me. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't. That's cool you did.
Yeah. I haven't. What was I gonna say? I haven't seen a lot of musicals recently. Like again, like Greatest Showman's probably the last one I saw.
Sure.
But and I don't really know much about Jonathan Larson's work. Like I haven't seen Tick Tick Boom the musical. I know it exists. I know people like it, but I know about Rent the musical.
Yeah.
That's a popular one. It's a weird one. It's good and all. But yeah, this was a whole new perspective. I'm not sure how much of it is historically accurate. Probably not a ton, but I'm sure the general idea is there. Kind of a tragic story with Jonathan Larson, and like he's going through like the whole AIDS epidemic too with all his friends, and so yeah, it definitely like they put a lot of emotion, a lot of heart into the movie, and they pack it all into like under 2 hours. So yeah, I'd recommend it to watch with your friends, your families if you're into that kind of thing. Musicals. Again, the soundtrack will get stuck in your head. It has been stuck in my head for about a month. So
Yeah. Yeah. If you're a theater kid, this is like the best movie ever.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. No, I think Andrew Garfield did like a phenomenal job in it. I'll have to go back and see like best actor nominees, but if he won, I'd be cool with that. I'd be like, yeah, that's fair. The
yeah.
editing was super good. Um, the writing I thought was pretty good too. Well written, well thing. Yeah, good movie. I thought.
So what about you? What's the Ryan Gilmore Best Picture nominee?
Yeah, there's this one. Check it. It's called "Running the Rat Race."
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
no, that's not my favorite. That's my favorite I've done all year. If you ranked uh, Ride the Tiger filmography 2021, yeah, it gets number one. Real heroes wear masks got snubbed. Some will say that should be number one, but I'd say Running the Rat Race.
I like Running the Rat Race a lot.
Thanks, man. No, I'd feel like a douchebag if I like picked that as number one. So I'd say number one would be The Last Duel.
There we go.
I didn't love it. I'm not gonna do a backflip over it. I think I saw it and I gave it like a 9 out of 10, which is really good. But it wasn't like an all timer.
Sure.
But I mean, like, it's very clever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was super creative. Like the chapters, like they go from look, well, how you say his name? The first guy, um,
Frenchie.
Carouge, Carouge,
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Carouge, and Legree. Sorry, like the two chapters. Like, I mean, I think I know what they were going for. Like, you like Matt Damon's character the first chapter, then you kind of sympathize for Adam Driver's the second. But I don't know, I didn't really sympathize for Adam Driver's second chapter. I know it's like the truth as told by Legree, but like still, I wasn't really. He still came across as kind of a douchebag in his own truth. Um,
I mean, so is
but
like
no,
Mac's character.
yeah, yeah, I guess so. I think I was just rooting for Matt a little bit more, but like it was a great movie. Like aesthetically, like super trad. I like I show some of my friends, some of the CSU guys. I'm like, you guys would love this, and yeah, no, I love the aesthetic. It was visually really good. The acting, obviously, you get all those heavyweights together. Um, I didn't know Ben Affleck was in the movie until I watched it. I literally saw it this week because I saw it on your list, and that was like the one movie where I was like, I really want to see it. Ridley Scott's a great director, but I didn't know Ben Affleck was in this movie. He's not in it for like a ton, but he's great.
Yeah, I was waiting for him in the movie. It took me a while to realize like who he was. I think he did a really great job. He was nominated for like worst actor. The
Really?
Yeah, it was. There's this thing called the Razzies. It's like the reverse Oscars, and he was nominated like worst actor.
For
I
this
think,
movie?
yeah, I think everyone did a really good job. It had like political commentary that I felt was like, I don't know if I'd say it's subtle. It doesn't beat you over the head, but you know what it's about. You know, I think they did a Me Too era movie, but they made it like Rashomon. I think that's really
That's how
clever.
you do.
Like,
That's how you do it. That's the best way to do the political commentary.
yeah, it's not like hitting you over the head, but you know what it's like really about. I just think every character is like super well fleshed out. And I like production design, it was great. I mean, like costumes, like any technical aspect, great. Even like the titular duel at the end is like I was on the edge of my seat. Sure, you probably were too.
It's the action was really great in the movie. One thing that I didn't expect that I was actually kind of like it was a welcome surprise, but like how do I say this? Like the action was like gory and all, but it wasn't like because when you think about that time, you're thinking of like the most gruesome stuff. But the action was like really good. It was super entertaining because I don't like a lot of like super gory stuff. Like I think it could be kind of cringy when it's done over the top. But the action was really great, and even all the gory stuff, they didn't make it super over the top. It was actually like really fluid, which is not that's probably not the best word, but no, I love the action in the movie. And he's talking about it's like a Me Too era movie, but it isn't super soapy. It's not like super cringy. Like it's a really like badass film, and that last duel was really amazing too. So yeah, I love Matt Damon. He's one of my favorite actors, like period. And I love Adam Driver too. I haven't really seen much of Adam Driver, but from what I've seen, he's very good. So yeah,
Well,
I think a 9 out of 10 is the perfect rating for it.
yeah. I think we're not shining a light on who I think was a MVP was Jodie Comer. I can't remember her character's name, but she was phenomenal. And I think it's a crime she didn't like get nominated for Best Actress.
That's
Like,
who's played Marguerite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like this movie, I didn't think I was kind of on the fence. It's like, well, I don't know if we'll be nominated Best Picture, maybe, but I was sure it'd be nominated for like script or at least for Best Actress. Like she tied the
Yeah.
whole thing together. She was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, great movie overall. It wasn't nominated for Best Picture. You said it wasn't.
No, it didn't get any award nominations.
Yeah, at least like cinematography. I thought that was visually a great movie. Um, that's kind of disappointing.
I mean, the Oscars are dumb anyway, but like some people were kind of lukewarm. Some people had like issues with like some of the creative decisions, which I can agree with some of them, or I can see what they're saying. But I mean, I was really impressed with the whole thing. Like, I mean, because I mean, like think about it, like Ridley Scott had 2 movies out this year, and the other was like House of Gucci. And like
I haven't seen House of Gucci. Is any
I
good?
heard, wait, what?
Was any good?
I heard it wasn't very good. People were really disappointed. So like, but this was the better of the 2 he came out with this year. But I mean, yeah, it's not an all-time kind of movie, I don't think, but I still really enjoyed Great Duel or Last Duel.
Hmm.
Um,
I have one movie here on my list
sure.
that in my notes here. I still don't know if it's a good movie or if it's a bad movie. It's a very middle of the road movie. It's called The Guilty, and it came out this year. And I like it, right? I don't think I'd ever watch it again, but I thought it was good, and I wanted to know if you've seen it because it feels like the type of movie that you'd like.
I'm gonna look it up because like the title's familiar, but like the guilty.
Because when you talked about honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions, I didn't know where to put it, dishonorable mention or honorable mention, because I thought it was really good.
You
So
know what sucks? Um, I was gonna have this one girl who played Martha in Running the Rat Race. She was gonna be in here, and she, when I like announced like, "Hey, I'm making a podcast and a guest," she said, "Hey, I want to talk about The Guilty." She really like loved it.
I liked it too, yeah. But I just was kind of I don't think I'd watch it again. I'd give it like a perfect like 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I'm trying to find a way to explain it because I liked it. I wanted to be clear that I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really good, but it doesn't have like any rewatch value, and like it was kind of like a weird. Um, Actually, you know what? It wasn't a weird ending at all. I think it was a fitting ending, but he is kind of like I don't want to spoil it, obviously, but
Yeah, she
um,
was gonna she was gonna come on this podcast, but like she couldn't make it. But yeah,
yeah,
no, that's crazy because I was like, that movie's familiar. The title, like, why? And I was like, oh yeah, she was just raving about it. And I still haven't seen it.
it's a good one. It's a good one. Jake Gyllenhaal plays it. There's I was writing something with a friend of mine. We wanted to make another like short film together by end of the semester, and it's kind of like taken from that sort of concept. Like we're trying to make the whole thing take place in one room, and we're trying to like have a bunch of people like come in and out, and but the whole like script like takes place in one room,
Sure.
and The Guilty is like a very similar kind of thing. Like Jake Gyllenhaal plays this 911 operator, right? Um, and well, he's not he's a cop, but you know he messes up, he makes mistakes, he does some bad policing work, and they demote him to being a 911 operator. Um, and bad policing work is grossly underestimating what he did. But again, you guys gonna have to watch the movie to kind of figure out. But he's a 911 operator, and he's getting the call of someone who's been kidnapped, but that's not the whole story. And it goes through. You never. He's the only character who you see, him and his coworkers, right, in this room. But he's the only character with a part in the plot of the story that you see his face. Like all you're doing is hearing what's going on, the crime, the story. It would make for a better movie to probably see what's going on that he's listening to, but the kind of like uneasiness that you have, like you're in his shoes, right? You don't know what's going on because all you're just hearing it. You don't know. You're not seeing it. You're not making any opportunity for yourself. So that's probably what they were going for. But like, I've never been so tense watching a movie with no action. I've never
Sure.
been so like,
The thriller.
so it's a great movie. A little weird, a little like anticlimactic, but nonetheless a perfect gray area movie where I didn't know where to like rank it exactly. So I definitely put it as an honorable mention because it is very good, but it is a little weird.
I've got a dishonorable mention because I like talking about movies I don't like. Um, brings me no pleasure because I was hyping this up. The Last Night in Soho gets that distinction.
No, I haven't seen it. I want to see it so bad. I'm kind of hyped to see it, but
I won't spoil anything, but like coming off Baby Driver, it's like,
right.
holy crap. It's not a bad movie. It's
Okay.
like fine. It's okay, but it's an awful Edgar Wright movie where you can see his like trademark throughout, but it's really disappointing because like they're good scenes. You know, he's known for his music. It's just it's an original idea, but it's not properly explained in some aspects. Characters don't act like how real people would in these situations. And you could say, well, it's a movie, but if you saw it, you know what I mean. Like that romance plot is really labored. Um, oh God, there's some really like bad plot twists near the end. They're just mind-boggling. It's like what? Like I guess they make sense, but it feels like if like a 12-year-old like wrote a story and had a plot twist, like yeah, I guess guys, but like this, what were you going with this? You know, where were you going with this? What were you doing? This doesn't even. Yeah, I can't say it, but God, it's not a very good plot. Um, there isn't even that much like character development. It's just a really I'm really trashing on it, but like if you saw it, you'd probably be like, yeah, that was okay. But I mean, this is a guy who made like Shaun of the Dead, you know, Baby Driver.
Sure. Baby Driver is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. I love his
So Scott,
movies.
yeah,
Wait, what?
you're a fan of Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, I love Scott Pilgrim.
I love Scott. I try to talk to people about Scott Pilgrim. No one's seen it.
So it's like okay, like Hot Fuzz and like Shaun of the Dead, a lot of stuff. All that's like top tier. That's like I give it like an A. Scott Pilgrim, like I give it a B only because it's like not that deep, but it's still super good and it has like a lot of cool moments and you know it's iconic. It has incredible dialogue.
Yeah.
This one has really good like cinematography and that's kind of it. I mean, it kind of has a cool aesthetic going on, but like yeah, I mean, I think anyone would tell you like yeah, it was fine, but like it wasn't up to his usual standard. You know.
Do you think this is his worst movie?
Yeah, I do think so. Because, yeah, it's a horror film. To an extent, it's not scary, really, but like, there's kind of cool horror imagery at some parts. But like, I really tried to analyze it, and like, I could, I get what he was doing, but like, the execution is just so bad. Maybe you like it.
Yeah, I think I'm contractually obligated to look at anything Edgar Wright makes, so I think I'm gonna look at it anyway.
Yeah,
But like Scott Pilgrim, I feel like I credit Scott Pilgrim with like my sense of humor essentially in movies. So I love that movie, and Baby Driver is like one of my top 20. So yeah, I'll probably give it a look. But that is disappointing that it wasn't all that because I was like hyped for it like a month ago.
yeah. When you see it, just yeah, let me know what you think, especially the twist. It's not one of those cool twists like Shyamalan or something where like
Sure.
you watch it and like recontextualizes the whole thing. It's just a stupid twist that like, okay, okay, I get what you did here, but like, I can't say anything more about it. Just like, it's just, I left the theater feeling defeated. And I think, oh yeah, yeah, it also isn't great because I fell down the stairs on the way there.
I'll
And
do
it's
it.
not worth falling
Yeah.
down a flight of stairs for that. I was like, damn, I like hurt myself for this. So yeah, yeah. I was on the way out the door and I like fell down the stairs. And even though I was limping, I was in like real pain. I still like limped out of the car and headed over to the theater. I was like, this was not worth it. But yeah, that was our list. Do you have anything left to add, Vindra?
No, no. Pretty much agree with the movies I did see on your list. Um, I'll probably check out Last Night in Soho anyway.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, overall, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Running the Rat Race was an incredible film. I enjoyed it tremendously. That's not, I'm not reading anything, I promise. Like, he sent me it
Hey,
like a
follow the
little,
script. You're
yeah,
going
yeah.
off script.
Hold on 1 second. I have a cue card guy here. He's a little bit slow. But no, no, no. The whole theme about like identity and like what's like your purpose and stuff like that, that's like a question that a lot of people like our age like have to like answer. And like when I was writing my project for my class, like I kind of naturally went that route too. And then I saw Ryan's and I was like, this is like a really great, I did not expect it to be as profound as it was. This is a really great like answer to it, and it's a really nice way to explain it. And um, yeah, check out High Voltage as well. If you go on YouTube and you type in High Voltage and you type in Vindra Singh, it'll pop out. And that's another, we tried to make it about identity. It's a little bit worse. It's actually a lot worse. But um, yeah, no, that whole like theme is like something that a lot of people our age struggle to like answer. And Running the Rat Race answers it beautifully. I highly recommend. I think it was disastrously snubbed from the best movies of 2021. I'll never forgive Hollywood for that. Maybe 2022 Oscars will come around and High Voltage will get a nod. But two movies about identity. One very good. One I tried. Um, but yeah, no, check them out.
Thanks, man. I mean, that really means a lot. I liked High Voltage. I had a lot of fun watching it. Um, I can't wait for your next project. And like, so that's Running the Rat Race. But like, if you saw the short I made before it, The Rat Race, like, bro, if you think, in your personal opinion, High Voltage was not great, that original short was so bad, I had to make an entire movie just to make up for it.
I did not see the original short, but I did see that anime trailer for Right the Rat Race that I thought was hilarious. I like,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll send
I
you
don't
the
think.
link. Wait, what?
No, no. I was gonna say I don't think the High Voltage is bad. I shouldn't talk about a movie like it's bad, but I just think that we both tried to answer a similar question, and I did in a way that was very stupid and chaotic, and Ryan did in a way that was very profound. And yeah, check them both out.
Yeah, yeah, I'll link it in the description. But yeah, man, I'm super stoked for your next project. And like I said, yeah, High Voltage was a lot of fun. Yeah, the original Rat Race, that was before you went to FSU. So that was done like pre-pandemic.
Wow.
It was done in like one night, pretty much one night, and then the following morning from like it was like midnight to 3 a.m. and then like 7 a.m. the next day.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we really had to like rush the thing, and like we only had 5 minutes, so I had all these profound like kind of ideas swirl in my head, but like you can't really do much in 5 minutes,
Sure.
But
I was gonna make a love story at first, and I was like, nah, I won't. I don't think I will. And I tried to make it a little bit more about like friendship love instead of like something else like that. You know what I mean? So that was kind of what it was supposed to come across as. But no, overall, thanks for having me on the podcast. Though this is cool. I'll have to check out I want to see the Nickelodeon tier list podcast. That's gonna be the first one I look at after this.
Oh, thanks,
Actually.
man. Yeah, that was super fun because those are like really chaotic because we just progressively drink more over time.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, honestly, yeah, because they're like an hour or two, and it's like filmed late night, so we're just hanging out, having a good time. Um, I gotta send you like the out of context video my buddy, one of the guests, made for it because yeah, those are cool. Like I think I'll still like podcasts, but I think I'll alternate like a regular podcast like this, and then next time something chaotic like a ranking or like something a little different because like those are always fun and have like good conversation. But where can the audience find you, man? Do you want to like plug your Insta or just anything?
Sure. My Instagram is just my name. It's _Vindra_. If you want to follow, check out. I don't really have anything on Instagram. I
You
give
would
on
like
social.
have like SoundCloud or some.
I do not. Middle school Vindra. No, that's not even true. Like 7th grade to 10th grade, I made very bad hip hop beats on Soundtrap. I don't really have anything else to plug. I guess you can check out it's High Voltage is like half an hour long. Um, it was made by not really just me. It was made by like I'm here at FSU, right? Where I'm with the Catholic Student Union, and we have a little offshoot fight club of sorts called the House of Tackles, the Mackles House of Tackles, and it's really just more of a self improvement group than anything, and they all helped with this. And when I talk about friendship and all this stuff and identity in the film, these guys are like my closest friends, and they willingly help me get better as a person. I try to help them as well, and they all had as much to do with it as I did, and they all delivered their A games, and they were still like passionate about it. They had a lot of fun, and yeah, I want to give them a shout out. Knuckles House of Tackles, I love you guys, and yeah, so they're all in this too as well. So yeah, I don't really have anything to plug. I just have some shout outs. And those guys are really A1 individuals.
Nice. Yeah, well, next time on the podcast, it's a secret, and by that I mean I have nothing planned. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've been at Rye the Tiger. See ya.